We appreciate the judge's time. We appreciate, sorry, I'm not used to this. I'm usually on that side. We appreciate the judge's time. I appreciate Amanda being here. As you can kind of tell, I'm confused with the judge's decision that our clients, the media, didn't have standing to bring the petition. We'll obviously have to look at his order and understand his basis for that. I do think there's a misapprehension of the statute, and folks thought we were moving under subsection F, which we weren't. The box is clearly checked for subsection G, but we'll certainly visit that issue. With respect to the issue regarding release, it's certainly within his discretion. We're disappointed about that. We still believe that release would be appropriate and perhaps even helpful in this case, but at the end of the day, the judge is afforded an enormous amount of discretion under the statute. We'll have to deal with the standing issue, which, as I've indicated, I think this is my 34th or 35th one of these, and that's never come up before.
Do you believe the family will release the video to the media?
I have not talked to the family. I don't know.
And do you have recourse now?
Well, once the order is entered, as you probably heard me asked if he would consider certifying it for immediate appeal. The reason that I asked that and the other question, we also made a request. It's the same petition that we're here under, sought the recordings from Elizabeth City Police Department. And what I was referencing is that while we were in the hearing, I received an order saying that the Elizabeth City Police Department petition wouldn't be heard today. If our clients don't have standing, then there's no need to go forward with that hearing, in my mind, being consistent with his ruling. But immediate appeal, you can't appeal something that isn't finished. And so if we have to come back here for the Elizabeth City PD, then so be it, and we'll appeal when we can.
You said you worked on a lot of other cases like this, and this one appears to be handled differently. I mean, why do you think that is?
I have no idea. I understand that our clients, the media, are not entitled to disclosure under the law. They don't have a right to come and say, we want to see the recording at the sheriff's office. And that's why we moved under G, which is listed as general. And so this is, didn't see it coming. Not sure how it got there, and we'll certainly assess it when we can.
Mr. Totti, why does North Carolina treat police video as judicial records rather than public records?
Well, that's my argument. What I was saying was that before, when we would seek body cameras or dash cameras, there was more dash cameras at the time, it was unclear. Were they public records? Were they records of criminal investigation, or were they personnel records? And when this statute came out, it made clear that they were neither personnel records nor were they public records. And so through the process, the General Assembly, in my opinion, by having the court order them into the court, make them judicial records. And as I said in my argument, I think our clients, through the First Amendment, have a right to those records.
Mr. Totti, you brought up the case of the Aquarius Franklin, March of 2019 in Charlotte. How is that case similar to this? What overall point were you trying to make there?
Are you talking about at the Burger King?
Correct.
What I was getting at was, in that particular case, the request was made for the recordings of that particular incident. What happened was recordings were produced to the court for in-camera review, and they were released. And then sometime later, my recollection is the Charlotte City Council watched those recordings and many more that had not been disclosed to the court, that were in existence but unknown to the court. And so that's why our requests are broader than
Clayton Bauman here. We're having some signal issues right now. Sometimes they alleviate themselves, so I'm going to give it a second to try and catch up with the bandwidth.
Do our clients, under the general provision, have the right to be here and petition? What I understood Judge Foster to say was, no, we don't. Which means, if you carry that further, that no one in North Carolina does. The media aren't special, and we aren't trying to say that they're special. If my neighbor is in a situation and I am not doing it on behalf of the media, I think under subsection G, I should be able to make a petition to ask for the recordings to be released.
When disclosure is made to the family in 10 days, will they be able to take notes, record anything? What would they be able to do?
The judge can limit what happens at those things, and it sounded like he was planning on not only limiting what they would see, but who could see it and what could happen there. I will freely say I've never made a petition under F because I'm not usually representing the people in the video. I'm representing you guys.
Once the disclosure is made to the son and the other lawyer, do they have the power, the authority?
Again, just for some background, a whole lot of live signals going on out there. Sometimes they kind of bump heads with each other as far as cell phone signal. That's what these live backpacks run off of. So might need a second for it to catch up.
Based on his parameters, and then 30 to 45 days later, release. That's when somebody can have a copy. The statute indicates that the judge can limit, restrict, condition any release, and so I don't know what, we'll all see what the judge does in that order, whether he conditions it should it be released.
Now, when you say the sum total of all 6 files, all 5 cameras,
No, we don't know anything about that. The way this statute works is we file the petition, well, worked until today. We filed the petition, the court issues an order to law enforcement ordering them to put the recordings into the court for in-camera or in-chambers review, sets the date and time of a hearing, and law enforcement is to give notice to law enforcement officers in the recordings, whether by image or voice, that they have the right to be at this hearing. That was Mr. Williams' position. He was representing those folks. We don't get any copy of the notice that went out to the people. Most often we don't know who's in the video until it's released, or whose videos they are until they're released.
Now, when the judge said 30 to 45 days, is that starting today when he signs the order, or is that starting from when the family gets to see it?
I don't know. We'd have to read what the order that gets entered says.
What would you say to residents who feel this is a cover-up?
I don't know what it is. I don't understand the standing issue at all. I didn't see it coming. Nobody's ever raised it before, and I think it's a misunderstanding of the statute. That's what I'm hoping it is. That's why we have courts of appeals in Raleigh, and if that's what we need to do and our clients want us to do, that's what we'll pursue.
Mike, the first time this judge has made a decision.
I don't know that. I don't know his familiarity with the law at all.
I just want to take a second to put in plain English this issue about standing, because that's. I just want to put in plain English this issue about standing that you asked about. When we, as lawyers, talk about standing, the question is, do we have a right to even be heard? Do we have a right to come in here and say, we would like to get copies of these videos? In our view, that part is not discretionary. The statute is very specific, and we believe it spells out that we do have a right at least to ask. We concede that the judge has great discretion in deciding whether to release, but essentially what the judge said is we didn't even have the right to ask, and that's where we think that he's incorrect in the reading of the statute.
Thank you all for your time. Thanks to our clients for pushing on this. You'll hear from us soon enough. Thank you.
That was the attorney representing media asking for release. This is now family
Hello,
attorneys
everyone.
for Brown.
I'm Wayne Kendall, and this is Mr. Harry Daniels. We represent, along with Ms. Lassiter, the family of Andrew Brown. You guys have probably heard what the judge decided today. I would consider it somewhat of a partial victory for the family, in the sense that the judge did order a redacted release, or not, excuse me, I need to be clear about release and disclosure. He ordered a partial disclosure of the video camera recordings to the son of Andrew Brown, Mr. Khalil Farabee. And that is to occur sometime within the next 10 days or so. That release should be made, and then he's also ordered that disclosure should be made, rather. And then within the next 30 to 45 days, he will decide whether or not there will be an actual release of the video recordings to Mr. Farabee, depending upon whether the district attorney decides to bring any criminal charges or not bring criminal charges. We consider that a partial victory in the sense that the judge and the district attorney and the sheriff's department have admitted that there are at least 4 recordings and 1 dash cam recordings for a total of 5 video cameras. As you will recall, a couple of days ago, they released only a snippet, a 20-second snippet of 1 recording. So at least now, in sometime within the next 10 days or so, we will have the opportunity, or at least one representative of the legal team, as well as Mr. Farabee, will be allowed to see these, what we consider to be now 5 video cams in full, with only the facial features of the deputies that were there on the scene, as well as their identification like a name badge, to be redacted or blurred out. So from the standpoint of the family, we would consider this a partial victory. Now, I also want to address something that I heard the district attorney to say that greatly disturbed me.
Greatly.
And that was the fact that Ms. Lassiter here, who is standing to my left, somehow misconstrued, misrepresented the contents of the 20-second snippet that she was allowed to see along with a couple of family members a couple of days ago. The reason that greatly disturbs me is because this district attorney has had access to these recordings since they were recorded, the full recordings, all 5 video recordings. He has had full access, and had he allowed Ms. Lassiter to see the entire contents of all 5 videos, there wouldn't be any issue about what's on the video and what his description of what is on the video is versus what her description of what the video is. And further, if he had released those video recordings to all of you, then the entire world would know what's on those videos. So for him to come into court today and suggest that she somehow misconstrued or mischaracterized what is on those videos when he only allowed her to see 20 seconds of 1 video cam is beyond reprehensible.
He should be admonished for it. He should be admonished.
The governor, Roy Cooper, you have called for a special prosecutor. There is no better reason than to have a special prosecutor in this case than what we heard Mr. Womble state in court today. He would take it upon himself to call for an admonishment of a licensed member of the bar for giving an honest interpretation of what was on those videos, that small snippet that she was allowed to see, and to ask for her to be admonished by the court for giving her recitation, her honest recitation, as a member of the bar of this state, as to what she saw. It's beyond reprehensible. When he has it in his power to let the whole world see all 5 videos. Now I'm going to let my co-counsel Harry Daniels make a statement as well.
Let's not get distracted. An innocent man was gunned down, shot in the back of the head, vehicle riddled with bullets from the rear. Now I heard statements being made, well, he might have hit the deputies, or he might have did that. Well, show us the video. Show us the video. Show us the tape. Show the tape. If that's your position, show the tape. We already know if that was the case, then the media attorneys would not have to make an argument to show the tape. The tape will already be shown. If that exonerate the law enforcement officer, the media would have already seen the tape. In Columbus, Ohio, the tapes was immediately shown. Immediately shown. Show the tapes. Now, Ms. Lassiter here did an outstanding job. She went in that room. She came out. And what she saw on that video is what she saw, and she represented. I've known her for a long time. A long time. And one thing I can tell you, she is not known to tell lies. Right. She is very professional. And for this district attorney, the elected official, to take a poke or stab at her character when he had the opportunity to review all the evidence, and she saw a 20-second snippet, and she stand by her position that Andrew Brown was executed. Let no mistake about it. She stand by her position. It is appalling. It's shameful and it's disgraceful. But I assure you this, justice will be had. Justice will be served. In 10 days, 30 days, 300 days, or 3 years, justice will be had. Yeah. Now, Chantel, I'm gonna let you come. You want anything to say?
Hey, I think I need to say a couple things. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Hey, Chantel.
Hey.
Like a pan.
A couple days ago, Bakari Sellers told you guys how he felt disrespected as a black man. I have felt that same disrespect today. I am a member of this district, District 1 bar member in Elizabeth City, North Carolina, and I was not given the professional courtesy by Andrew Womble to have a conversation. I would have been glad to have a conversation if there was any confusions or questions about what I saw. I would have been glad to have a conversation, but he did not give me the opportunity.
He knew your phone number, didn't he?
He has my information is all out there. And
You said
at
you
no
know why?
time,
I'm asking you, do you know why?
You should ask him
Ask
that.
him. I have
ask
no
him
idea.
that. Don't
I have
ask,
no
don't
idea.
ask him why
at
he
no
did it.
time have I given any misrepresentations. I still stand by what I saw in that clip it. I told everyone what I saw. We had 20 seconds. We watched it over and over to ensure that I tried as best I could not to miss anything.
And that's the whole reason. If you have a disputed facts, show the tape.
Right.
That's the issue.
And also, again, it was only one. We only saw one body cam. So if it's 5, I didn't even see 20 seconds of those 5. I only saw 20 seconds of one. So if I missed anything, and then with the redactions, it was a lot of blurred visions. You know. So again, I stand by what I saw. And we will watch it again with the family again. And you know, I just feel disrespected. So thank you.
All right, I'm gonna limit it to about 3-4 questions. So,
Mr. Daniels, have you been in contact with the FBI?
no, I have not been in contact with FBI, but the FBI is here to investigate this matter.
Can Ms. Lassiter address just at any point in the video that you saw, does Mr. Brown's car go towards the deputies or hit the deputies?
No, in no portion that I saw, he was backing out away from the deputy.
No.
And in prior video, and before when DA Womble had the meeting with you, did he give any indication before in the court hearing that that was the case, that the car had been moving forward and he had told you beforehand, or is this the first time you're learning about it?
Absolutely not, and I answered specifically, what do we have here? And he disclosed nothing. He playing politics here. He's still running for judge, you got to remember.
And just to follow up, and if that is the case eventually, whether one way or another, does that change anything in terms of...
We will assess all the evidence that we have. Right now, my position is what Ms. Lasser stated, and I have a man that's dead, 7 children, shot in the back of the head, guns riddled in the back of a car. So regardless, show us the tape, and we'll determine what's justified, what's not justified. Right now, it is on their hands. It is on the hands of the Pasquotank County government. Show the tape.
Thank you.
Any more questions? All right, we're done. Let's go.
Mr. Daniels, has the family filed any lawsuits against the city of Elizabeth yet?
All right, you've just watched the post-court proceedings take place there after Judge Jeffrey Foster made his decision regarding body camera footage, essentially deciding that the media did not have standing to, I suppose, even request that video. Take that sound down. And you heard the attorney representing the various media outlets express surprise at that feeling from the judge. And then over to the family side of things, the judge ordered disclosure of the 4 body camera videos to the family to happen within 10 days And then he also, from my understanding, granted the district attorney, Andrew Womble's requests to allow for 30 days, to hold release of video for 30 days until the SBI completes its investigation. Hold release for a minimum of 30 days, no longer than 45, to allow the SBI to complete its investigation and present its findings to the district attorney, who said in court and argued this morning before the judge made his decision that after he reviews that, he will then decide if he will bring charges in the case, and in which case he will request that the video not be released, because it will then become part of evidence for a trial. And then if he decides not to charge, then he's requested that he be able to have a press conference where he would share that footage. But essentially that's where we are at right now. The video will not be released immediately. Again, family was granted disclosure, so the son of Andrew Brown will be able to view it along with a family attorney, and they'll be able to take a look at all the various body camera footage. Now the sheriff's office again has time up to 10 days to the judge order that faces of law enforcement be blurred, as well as identifying name tags in that video. And that's essentially where we are at with this situation right now. Also, you heard the attorney there, Chantel Lassiter, stand by what she saw on Monday when she was allowed to watch the 20 seconds of footage that was presented to both she and members of the family in court. The district attorney took issue with her characterization of what's on the video Monday. He said that in the video, and he described the video essentially saying that Brown hit law enforcement with the vehicle. That's new information, at least from the DA today, that we hadn't had before, because the district attorney, as well as the sheriff's office, had not provided any information to media or, I believe, family, describing the contents of the video. So that was the first that we heard of that in that, and you can read more about what he said in our web story that we have up right now on WITN.com. But Lassiter, during this press conference that just happened, stating that she stands by what she saw, and also that she was only able to see 20 seconds of video, and that there was a lot of blurring in it, and so she hasn't been able to review the other cameras that were involved in it. It's our understanding that there were 4 body cameras involved. That is the latest right now. Again, that press conference taking place right after a judge denied a motion for immediate release of that body cam video. We'll, of course, stay on top of the story and any developments throughout the afternoon. I'm Clayton Bauman here with the WITN Now desk. Thanks for joining me.